Hello there all, this is Kieran here with the Cyber Sector Initiative Zone, back at it with another video for you guys today. So yeah, let's get right into it, man. We have a pretty good video for you guys. So this is gonna be this should hopefully this doesn't take too long. So we're gonna be using IPSec tunneling in this particular lab. And what we will be doing, we will be learning about configuring and using IPSec tunnel, and we're going to be playing a role of a security team member with Structurality Incorporated. We're going to be working on improving the organization's security stance. We're going to be focusing on tunneling across a network using IPSec VPN, and we're going to be configuring a host to attempt to negotiate an IPSec or IP security. I'm so sorry. IP security, virtual private network, and then we're going to configure the host to require an IPSec VPN, and then finally we're going to confirm whether the IPSec VPN tunnel encrypts communications. So let's get right into it. Now, once we're here, we're going to be going into PC 10 version 2023 for our IPSec. So we're going to sign in as the administrator. If you guys ever create your own little accounts as a home lab, do something like that. So now that we're here, we have to right click the Windows logo, and then we got to click on Windows PowerShell. Once we're here, we're going to be running a couple pings. We're going to do ping 10.1.24.102 to verify if that connection is active. That connection looks to be active. We have that connection right there. That's verifying the connectivity with another computer, that being PC 20. Our second one is going to be 10.1.24.254. That's going to be verifying the connection with the router. And then we're going to use the curl command to verify connectivity with the web service, which that is going to return a 200/OK status, which that means that the connection is good to go, therefore we're able to connect to it. So now that we're done with that, we have to go over to PC 20 and we have to log in using the administrator for this account. So once we're done with this, we're going to now be logged into this, and we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be running various tests to see if our connection is communicating back with various different computers. So in this particular lab, we're going to be testing out our connections. We're going to do the same thing. Run this IP address first. We see that this connection's working. Then we do the next one. Click on enter. And if you guys ever need to, pause it, do something like that. If you guys ever want to type it in. And then after that, we're going to click on this little connection right here, and we can just see that this connection is now verified, that we're able to connect to that particular connection. But if you guys ever want to just make up your own little IP addresses to kind of just connect to, or connect to different IP addresses that are obviously verified IP addresses online that are secure, you could always do something like that if you guys want to make your own little type of, just connect to safe IP addresses that are shown online, just to kind of use it as a practice module. So once we're done with that, we're gonna just click on next, and we have to go back to our original PC, to PC 10. And now that we're here, we have to type in the search bar, we have to type in local security. This is probably going to be a little bit tough for us. So this is going to be local security policy. Once we're here, we now have to click on a certain box window called IP security policies on local computer. Click on that, and then on the right pane right here, just click on right click on create IP security policy, click on next. Once we're here, we now have to click on next to go into the next box. Actually, no, don't do that. I spoke too soon. So what we do right here is that we have to create our new security policy name. What this will do is that we're going to create our new security policy that's going to prioritize our connection. So this is going to be structurality IPSec policy attempt. So you guys could name it whatever you want. You could do tech security policy or tech smart IPSec policy or whatever. So do that, click on next, and then once we're done from here, we have requests for a secure communications page. Leave this as a default. Don't check off anything. Click on next, and then upon completing the IP security wizard, verify edit properties is to be selected. So therefore we could edit our properties if we ever need to do something, and then just click on finish. So now that we're here, we now got to go to the IPSec policy attempt properties window and click on add. So now that we're here, we're going to click on next, and once we do this, we have to click on a button that says this rule does not specify a tunnel is to be selected. So make sure that is clicked on, and then click on next, and then once we're here, we have the network type page. Make sure this is clicked on to all network connections, click on next, and then on filter IP list page, click on add, and then on the new list window, we have to type in this filter list called structurality IP filter list, and then click on add. So once we're here, we just gotta click on next, and then once we get to this point, we just gotta click on next, and let's see. I think when we get over to this page, we have to click. We have to make sure this button mirrored is to be selected. So we got that, and then make sure mirrored is checked off or checked, and then once we do that, click on next, and then on this section for traffic, just keep this as default for any IP address. That's going to be our traffic source of where we're going to get the connections, and then any IP address for traffic source, and traffic destination, same thing. Click on that. So on the IP protocol page, select keep that to any, and in the select protocol type window, and then click on next, and then once we're here, we have to confirm edit properties is not checked. It's not selected. So do not click on this box. Keep that to be unchecked, and then click on finish. So once we're done right here, we have to go into selecting OK, and once we're here, we have our structurality IP filter list, and click on next, and then on the filter action page, use add wizard. Use add wizard is checked selected, and then click on add. So we're now going to get into another wizard. Click on next. On the IP, on the filter action name wizard, welcome to filter action wizard window. Welcome to the IP. Welcome to the IP security filter action wizard. Just click on next. So once we're here, we now have to make a name for it. This is going to be our name. So we're just going to type in this title here, encrypt some of the things, and then click on next. Once we're done with that, we now need to go to filter action general options. This is our general options. So we now need to have negotiate security to be checked off. So once we have this selected, click on next, and then on this page it says right here that we need to select allowed unsecured communication of secure connection cannot be established. So yes, that's what we're going to be doing, and click on next, and then on the IP traffic security page, confirm integrity and encryption is selected, and click on next. So we have this. Click on next. We'll move forward with that, and then on completing the IP security action wizard page, confirm edit properties is not checked off. So just keep that to be blank, and then click on finish, And then now that we're here, we now need to encrypt some of the things. You have to highlight this, click on that little circle button here, and just have that. And then we have to click on next. So now that we're here on the authentication method page, use this string to protect the key exchange pre-share king. Okay, so this is where we got to go right here. So we have to type in this password, command, which is our password, into the string. So this is our, notation for the particular string to protect the key, the key exchange. So it's going to be password exclamation point, password exclamation point. So we do that, click on next. On completing the security rule wizard page, confirm edit properties is not checked off and select finish. Okay, we got that. You are returned to the structurality IPSec policy attempt windows, which is now displaying the structurality IP filter list and the IP security rules. This is now checked off to be selected, so all we've got to do is just click on OK. So once we do that, you are now returned to the local security policy, where your newly created IP security policy named structurality IPSec policy attempt is to be displayed. So now that we're here, we got to right click this and we got to assign it. So once we're here, this should now get our connection to be assigned, and we should be good to go. Let's see if it worked. We should be assigned. Oh, actually, yep, it is, because you want to know why? Because like when I right clicked it, and clicked on assign, it now says onto the local security policy that this policy is now to be assigned. So we now have our connection to be fully assigned, but now in this next task objective, we have to now unassign it. So now that we're done with that, we have to leave this window to be open. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to move forward to a different computer. We're going to go over to PC20, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go over to local security, and then we're going to edit the local security policy. And when we're here, we're going to have to go about getting these particular policies to be configured. So once we're here, we got to do the same thing. We got to click on IP securities on the local computer, and then we have to do the same thing. We got to create another IP security policy. This is going to be like the same thing, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do something different. So click on next. Our new IP security policy name is called structurality IPSec policy required, and then we click on next. And then on the requests for secure connections page, leave the default setting unchecked. So yeah, do not check this off. So leave this unchecked. Click on next, and then now that we're here, we're on completing the IP security security policy wizard page. Verify edit properties is verify this checkbox, which is edit properties, is to be selected, and click on finish. So now that we do that, that is now to be finished. And then on the structurality IPSec required property window, okay, yep, we now have to click on add, because we now have to create another policy within this particular window, because we now see our policy right here. So now that we're here, we're going to just click on add and just do the same thing. So now that we're in this particular mode, we now have to go about, let's see, we clicked on add, just click on next, and then this next portion right here, we have to check off this rule does not specify a tunnel. So have that checked off, click on next, and then on network type page, click on all network connections is to be selected, which I have that. Have that next, yep, click on next, and then on network type, on IP filter lists, we have to add this. So once we add it, we have to type in this title right here, structurality IP filter list, and then let's see, yep, and then select add. Once we got that, click on next, and then IP filter wizard window, welcome to the IP Yeah. Don't do anything here. Just keep mirrored to be checked off, and then just click on next. This isn't really difficult. Once we're here on IP traffic source, select any IP address. Keep that the same. Keep that default, and then click on next. Same thing with traffic destination. Click on next, and then IP protocol type page. Keep this to any, and then click on next. And then once we're here, on completing the IP filter wizard page, confirm edit properties. Checkbox is not selected. So don't have this checked off. Click on finish, and here we go. Once we're done with that, you are now returned to the IP filter list window. The IP filter you just defined will be displayed at the bottom of the window. So we pretty much have it, but we just need to click on OK. So you're returned to this. So yeah, after you're done with that, just click on OK, and then you'll we'll now be back at this particular screen right here. Just kind of click on this. We have to select it, and then we have to click on next. So once we're here under filter action, we have to click on use add. Yeah, make sure this is to be checked off. Make sure this is selected, use add wizard, and then we click on add, and then we just pretty much do the same thing. After we're done with that, under filter action wizard page, we now have to create the same name that we did on the other computer, which is well, this is a whole different name for a security policy, but this is called encrypt all the things. So we click on next, and then once we're here, we got to make sure negotiate security is checked off. And then on the communicating with computers that do not support IPSec, do not support the IPSec page, confirm do not allow unsecured communications. Yep. So yeah, just keep this to be the same. Don't click this other one. This is going to screw everything up. Have that checked for the first option, and then once we're done with that, do the same thing with this one. Leave it as it is, and just click on next. And then upon completing the IP security filter action wizard page, confirm edit properties is not checked off. So yep, don't do anything with that, and just move on with that. And once we're finished with that, we have to select encrypt all the things, and make sure this is highlighted to be selected, and click on next. So click on next, and then under the authentication method, we have to use the same thing. We've got to use a string, a pre-shared key into the string field. Oh, I'm sorry. And then type in this command, which is going to be password with 2 exclamation points. So we got that, and then click on next. So now that we're done with that, we make sure edit properties is not checked off. Click on next, and then from that point on, upon completing the security wizard, yep. So now that we're done with that, we're just back at structurality IPSec policy, and now it's displaying the structurality IP filter list in the IP security rules. So once we do that, we just click on OK. So click on that. We're now returned to the local security policy window, where we just created our brand new IPSec policy, as you can see right here. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to assign it, and then that should be good to go, and we should be graded OK for this. And if you guys do this by yourself, you guys can know, if your policy does work by making sure that if you set it up properly, your policy will be assigned. So yeah, once we do that, we're gonna just unassign it. So I'm gonna go back here, unassign, leave this policy window open, and let's move on with the next task. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do this a little bit different. But we're gonna go to Wireshark, which is quite fun for those of you that love to understand the world of high-level software with what hacking is. Wireshark is a beautiful software. I love Wireshark, and yeah, Wireshark is very fun. And also, you can see how your connection is actually running, which is actually a really strong connection. So yeah, that's always good. So now that we're here in Wireshark, we gotta get our thinking brains here, and we gotta go click on, we have to double click on Ethernet. So double click that, that's going to run Wireshark to be open. So once we're here, we gotta minimize this, and let's minimize this, and let's go to, oh, okay, actually, yeah, on Windows PowerShell, enter the following. Okay, got it. So that's what we got to be doing. So once we're done with this, let's go to here, and I'm going to show you guys what you all got to do with this command. So now that we're here, we just got to ping our IP address to see if we get a connection response, which we do with IP address 10.1.24.102. And then we're going to enter a following command to ping the default gateway. So we're going to go with this one, click on enter, and we have our connection to be set up, and boom, we got that. So now we got to type in Microsoft Edge. We're going to, let's see, we're going to just probably start something with maybe like a simple search. It's going to ask you this question here: do you want to sync your data or start without your data? We're going to click on start without your data. We're not going to do that. And then we're going to just click on confirm and start browsing. So now that we're here, we need to go to our website that we're going to be testing, which is dvwa, structurality.com. Yeah, I'm not too sure if for anybody that's doing this as like a home lab, you would be able to do something like this. But if you guys want to use like any connection to kind of like test what you're testing, you could just take like any particular website that you see on the internet. Let's just say if you want to do g2a.com, you could do something like that to kind of test your connection and see if you're getting a particular response with that connection. So yeah, I'm gonna just type this in, click on enter. I mean, if this particular website does come up, you could just put it into like your regular browser, and you can kind of like demonstrate it as your own type of thing. So yeah, we're basically gonna go right here, and this like website is basically like, this is like a encyclopedia that tells you like all the hacking material that high-level hackers use, whether they use like file inclusion, insecure captcha. That's like a verification protocol that people do, when signing into like websites and stuff like that. SQL injection, weak session IDs. This is actually like really good information for those of you that like to understand the type of stuff like this. So I find this to be pretty interesting. So now that we're done with that, we just got to go back to PC20, and we have to go into the PowerShell, and we got to do the same thing. I'm going to ping this address, click on enter, and then once we're here, we got to do the same thing. We got to ping the 10.1.24.254 and make sure that we have like an active connection, and then we're going to do the same thing to go to Microsoft Edge. We're going to just basically probably test both connections to see if we get any particular same response, which I'm pretty sure we will. But I think for this particular notion of like what we're doing, we're basically like trying to see if our connection is operating the same way. So yeah, we're basically doing the same thing. We're going to go back to this particular virtual machine, and then we got to go back to Wireshark to see our activity of what we've been doing. So we can see right here that we do have some transmission history coming from a different IP address, and this is quite interesting because it's giving you all the information that we need to see. So we're going to just click on that button right there to stop capturing the packets, and into the display filter we have to type in HTTP dot. So put like a period symbol and click on enter. So that should give us the ability to do that. I don't know why. Oh, actually, I know why. I actually typed it a little bit wrong. I apologize for you guys. So that should give us what we need to see, but I don't think that's going to help us, so I'm going to just leave it as is. But this button right here should give us the ability to apply our filter, and we can move forward with this. So it's saying that we need to like look over the resulting captured packets, and where we can kind of see everything with our packets, it's just giving us all the information of like what was basically considered to be like, you know, connections that were unreachable, and then we see some connections that look to be possibly malicious. So that's pretty good to kind of give us all this information of what we can see. But let's just move forward with this. We're gonna you know, clear this, and then we're going to apply a different display filter, and let's type this command right here, ICMP and IP data address =sign 10.1.24.101, and we can see right here that we have some pretty good results that popped up for us, and we can see that we have host unreachables that were showing packets that did not come through effectively. Therefore, these connections were never to be properly transferred with the network traffic. So now that we're here, you know, it's going to ask us this question, like, why is there no ICMP traffic captured for the ping 10.1.24.102 from PC10 and 10.1.24.254. If you guys don't know what ICMP means, that means Internet Controlled Messaging Protocol. So what that means is that when networks are communicating with each other, they send data to communicate with you know, certain messaging protocols, which, if you guys want to understand what that means, is like when you see like certain like code frequencies that are being sent out, like SYN, which means synchronize, ACK means to acknowledge, and you know, like there's like many different like coding protocols that will send certain networking requests for connections to speak to one another. So it's basically like kind of like an AI generated type of discussion that they kind of have, but it's like, you know, this is how computers think, you know, on their own technically. So I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's like a, you know, it's a very interesting science in a way. But to answer this question, why is there no ICMP traffic captured for the ping 10.1.24.102? Let's see. You did not ping the default gateway from PC20. The gateway sent any responses from the PC ping from PC20 or traffic from PC20 to all non-PC10 traffic is not sent to be captured. I'm going to go with that one. Okay, yeah, I was right. So the reason why no traffic was captured was because traffic from PC20 to all non-PC10 system is not sent, was never being captured at the time of when we started the Wireshark capture to when we couldn't see any data coming in. But if you guys created like your own little computer virtual machines, if you guys ever want to use like, let's just say like VMware, or if you guys want to use what's like the other one that you could use, you could use like many different VMs out there, but it's not really like difficult per se. Like there's many good VMs out there where you can kind of just like try it out for yourself. I think another good one is VirtualBox. Yeah, Oracle VirtualBox. That's a good one if you guys ever want to create like your own little Linux virtual boxes. And for anybody that's actually wanting to like set that up, you could just go on YouTube and just type in how to set up Kali Linux, and there's going to be plenty of videos out there that will teach you how to set up your own virtual boxes. But I guess after this video, I could just post like a video link to share to you guys to like set that up on your own. So if you guys ever want to make like your own little home lab to kind of do something similar to like this, that could be something that you could do. So I'll just post a video for that for you guys to kind of like, look at if you guys want to, do that. So once we're done with that, let's clear the filter, and then we now have to start a new Wireshark packet capture. So we're going to go back to here, and we're going to start capturing once again. It's going to ask us if we want to save what the capture packets before starting a new capture. Just click on continue without saving, and once we do that, we are good to go. So now we're going to switch back to the local security policy window up on our taskbar. So we have to click on this button right here. Yep, that's like our little, golden little lock that's sitting next to a computer. So click on that. We have to right click structurality, IPSec. Is this our required one? This is what the one that we need. We have to right click this, and we have to assign it. So from this point, it says right here, PC10 is configured to attempt to negotiate an IPSec encrypted session for each communication, but will allow fallback to unsecured communications. So basically, our computer for PC10 is trying to negotiate the IP security or Internet Protocol security for the encrypted session to be set up. And from that point on, that should give us the ability to prioritize our connection a lot more effectively. So therefore, we can have our connection to be configured with a VPN-like structure. So what we're going to do is go back to PC20, and we're going to switch to local security policy, and we're going to right-click structurality, IPSec policy required, and click on assign. And I think what's going to happen is that it's now going to be configured to require the use of IPSec in the priority, but will not allow fallback to plaintext. So that means that it's going to require the use of Internet Protocol security as its priority once it's to be enabled, which what I did in this particular computer. So notice how I assigned one security policy on one computer, and I pretty much assigned another one on a different one. So in this particular scenario, they're both going to be communicating with each other, and we're going to have some sort of secure connection protocol to be put in place for our security properties per se. So once once that is processing, we have to go to command prompt. So load up command prompt and type in this ping command, which is ping 10.1.24.101. Enter that in, and we should now see replies for our connection to be active. So once we're done with that, basically this connection is just showing that we're active for this connection. But in the case for Wireshark is most likely not going to show that, because it says that you are not pinging 10.1.24.254 nor visiting the website again, as those would not be captured by Wireshark on PC10 anyway. So once we're done with this, we got to go switch back to PC10, and we have to, well, obviously, it's going to tell you to sign in, but you don't really have to, because you'll be signed in anyway. So we got to go to command prompt, and just type in the search bar, type in command prompt, and once we're here, type in this ping to PC20. That's going to be our PC20 computer, and as you can see here, we now have a connection, communication with another computer. We're going to do the same thing with the default gateway. We're going to click on that, and we should see 4 replies, which means that we have an active connection that we are in communication with. So we're going to switch to Microsoft Edge browser once again, and we're going to do control R. So we're going to reload the website. It's probably not going to let you do it. So what you guys should do is just try to reload the site, and we should be able to get it going, but it's probably not going to. So actually, yeah, I'm able to get the command going, but it's not really doing anything but just staying at that particular web page. So once we're done with that, we have to click on instructions from the bottom menu of the DVWA website, So yeah, so while we're here, let me find instructions. Let's see. Where are you? Where are you? Instructions. Where are you? I'm trying to see it because this website's not really that big, but it's always like a little bit. Yeah, okay. I think I know what it means. Okay, yep. So right here. Yeah, sorry about that. I was like a little bit blind right there. So click on instructions. This is just gonna give us like a little bit of like a rundown of like what we see. This is just telling us disclaimers where, it's just telling you that do not upload hosting provider's public HTML folder or any internet facing facing servers as they will be compromised. It is recommended using a virtual machines such as VirtualBox, VMware. Yeah, so this is pretty much like a compromised website that's kind of like showing a lot of like information about different software protocols with packages and stuff like that. So if you guys ever want to take a look at this, make sure you have like a VPN on. Don't go to this particular website. But in this case, if you're going to be setting up this lab, make sure that you just have like a VPN enabled on your browser. Therefore, that'll keep everything protected. But more so, once you do that, you'll be fine. So now that we're here, we got to click on Wireshark and click on Stop Capturing Packets. And once we are here, we are going to be looking for a ICMP command, which is ICMP and ICMP.type. Exclamation point equals 3. So this is going to hide everything that is not ICMP traffic, and it's also going to hide ICMP traffic that has a type value of 3, which stands for destination unreachable. So as you can see right here, we have a lot of data that's shown in front of us, and it's just gonna basically show visible data of ping, like basically internet ping requests that were made out with this particular data that's shown. So it's pretty interesting. This is like pretty cool, interesting data, but it's just giving us like like a rundown of like what we had filtered out with the packets. So once we're done with that, just clear the display filter, and now we're gonna enter this command right here, HTTP. Type that in, and there we go. So now we have a whole different level of results. It says right here, notice you can still see the website interaction in plain text. This is because it is not being encapsulated in a IPSec tunnel. So now we just have to clear the display filter, and we have to apply this new filter, which is ISAC MP and IP address equals 10.1.24.101 and IP address $=10.1.24.102. So what this does is that this display filter limits the results to those packets that are ISAC MP, which it's most likely just like short for some internet protocol security measurement, where it's trying to get the proper IP addresses between both PC10 and PC20. The display packets of ISAC, which is ISAC MP, this is short for Internet Security Association Key Management Protocol, all relate to the encryption negotiation of IPSec. The discovery of Internet Security Association Key Management Protocol communications on the network confirms that that IPSec negotiations are taking place. So that basically means that these connections were already working with each other. And like I said, with these commands that you see right here, you see SYN, ACK, ECE. These are all like communication message, like communication TCP protocols, which is your transmission control protocol, calling codes, where SYN means to synchronize, and ACK means to acknowledge, and then you can see SEQ, that's obviously sequence, and then I believe WIN, that stands for window. I think that's what it means for window. And I forgot what CWR and ECE means, but I would have to go back and take a look at that. But I know this is to synchronize a connection, and that's to acknowledge. Well, these are like packets per se that are coming in to the network connection. So that's pretty interesting, and I actually like looking at this because this is like investigating what's going on within a particular data that you're trying to investigate for any suspicious activity. So I find that to be pretty cool and very interesting. So now that we did that, that's just gonna just show us all of our information of what we just saw right here for IPSec MP. So we're gonna type in a new command right here, which is ESP and IP address dot 10.1.24.101 and IP address double equal sign 10.1.24.102. We click on that. Yeah, we just type that in and click on enter. This is now going to just show us a whole load of different information. That's going to display the results to those packets that are encapsulating security payload, and it includes the records from PC10 and PC20 IP addresses. So yeah, we're pretty much done here. This is pretty fun. Before I go, the ESP, or the encapsulating security payload, is a primary encryption container for Internet Protocol security tunnels. The presence of encapsulating security payload packets confirm IPSec tunnels were established and encrypted connections are taking place. So now that we're done here, we just have to answer the questions, and I'll pretty much explain everything at the very end because to me, like I sometimes get a little bit confused with how this goes down. But what we just pretty much did here, we just created two separate security policies that we just assigned, and as we did that, both of these connections were now communicating with each other, where they're now negotiating a virtual private network for both of these connections to communicate at the same time, because we both have two security policies to be enabled on two separate computers, for one of them being split. So now both of these computers are communicating with each other to proceed with the connection. So now that we're done with that, let's answer some questions. What are the three main types of IPSec policies that can be configured? We have negotiate, permit, request, enable, block. First one is definitely negotiate. Second one is to be enabled, and I'm going to go with request. Okay, so that's not right. Let's see. I'm going to go with permit and block. Alright, there we go. So these are our three main types of what we do with IPSec policies. You can either negotiate a policy with your connection, or you could permit a policy with your connection, or you can use the block policy. So that gives you the ability to kind of like determine what connections are to be permitted, to be negotiated, or to be blocked. So therefore you could have more extra security layers to prioritize yourself a lot stronger. What is the primary benefit of tunneling? Is it for non-repudiation, availability, promiscuous sniffing, faster routing, or encryption? I'm going to go with encryption, because that's what tunneling is technically used for. VPN tunneling. Yes, we are correct with that. Alright, third question. In the lab, why was PC10 unable to collect packets from PC20 directed to the default gateway or the website? Was it the IPSec policy was in effect even before it was assigned, or PC20 did not communicate with the default gateway or a website, or PC10 has a filter to ignore all traffic from PC10, or the packets from PC20 were not sent to the PC10 interface? I'm going to go with the fourth one. I think that's the right answer. And yes, sir, we are right. Because the reason why was simply because when we were trying to send over the connections from PC20, the PC20 computer was not communicating with PC10. So therefore, PC10 was not able to get any response from PC20 to say, hey, I am trying to connect to you, so therefore I need to connect to you by sending my packets over, but the PC20 computer was not doing that. Therefore, it was particularly malfunctioning in that particular phase. So that's exactly why PC20 was not able to communicate with PC10 for that manner. Alright, number 4. Which of the following are options for implementing encrypted tunnels for secure connections? Okay, this should be pretty fun and pretty easy to solve. Let's see, we got IPSec, SSH, we got HTTP? Nope, that's not connected. That's not a secure connection. If you ever want to know the difference between HTTP, HTTPS, HTTPS it means hypertext transfer protocol secured, and HTTP is always going to be unsecured connection. What we got? We got let's try TLS and DNS. FTP and ICMP and HTTP. These are not. Those aren't secure type of connections, but FTP means file transfer protocol, and ICMP means internet control messaging protocol. So yeah, let's see if I'm right. Okay, we are not correct. So let me take that off. Let's try these ones. Okay, yeah, we are correct. So we got TLS, we got SSH, and IPSec. These will be our options for implementing encrypted tunnels for secure connections. And the reason for this is simply because whenever you're using any connection protocol to make sure your servers are to be properly functioned, the main point of this is to make sure that your configuration policies, whenever you're building a network, or at least even configuring proper user properties of who has access to the network, IPSec and SSH and TLS are the strongest forms of establishing secure encrypted tunnels for secure connections between communicating users from different computer networks. So alright, fifth and last one. This should be pretty hard and pretty difficult. Your company is implementing IPSec policies on all internal systems. However, the configuration change will be rolled out over a 3-month period. What is the best choice for the IPSec policy during the initial implementation phase? Do not respond to IPSec queries. Allow fallback to unsecured connections if a secure connection cannot be established, or accept unsecured connection but always respond using IPSec, or require all connections using IPSec. This is pretty tough. So we see right here it's implementing IPSec policies on all internal systems. However, the configuration change will be rolled out over a 3-month period. So what is the best choice for IPSec during the initial implementation phase? I would say I'm going to go with the fourth one. I'm going to see if I'm right. Okay, no. I think it's the number 3. I'm going to go with that. Okay, we're not right about that. Let's see. I'm going to go 2. That makes sense. Allow fallback to unsecured connections if a secure connection cannot be established. Yep, we are correct. So yeah, the reason for that is simply because if your company that you're running is going to be rolled out over a 3-month period, where you're having to start a new configuration change for your internet protocol security policies to be constantly modified over time. The second answer makes perfect sense, because allowing fallback to unsecured communications is a good thing, even if your secure connection cannot be established, but at least you have a backup plan, so therefore you can basically create like a safety net to not put yourself in a position to overload connections, but also put yourself in a manner where the connections are not properly established and you have way too much traffic coming in that causes overflow, buffering, and creating bigger issues to come out of that. So that makes perfect sense out of the particular framework. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We pretty much conquered this. and this is pretty fun. This is a very fun lab. I had a lot of fun doing this, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, guys. This is a pretty good, constructive video, and I hope you guys enjoy this content. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys later, and yeah, peace out. And thank you guys for watching this content. So I'll see you guys later. I wanted to get 2 videos done for this weekend, and I'll probably come back with 2 more. So I'm gonna chomp it down little by little, but hopefully we can get all these labs done, and we can go move forward with getting the performance-based questions. And I think that's pretty much it for that. And then I'll come out with more content in the future. So yeah. I'll see you guys later. This is Cyber Sector Initiative Zones signing out, and I hope you guys have a great day. And thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys are having a good day wherever you are. And yeah, I will, see you guys later, and hopefully we will meet. We will see each other soon in another video for any fans having to watch out. So thank you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you guys later. And have a great night. Bye.